Live again. Not ideal to say the least that it keeps crashing out. Reasonably sure. Reasonably sure it's fixable. I looked through the error log, see what I could find, and the SNMP service is like throwing errors left, right, and center. So I've killed that. Let's see if that improves things. I guess the other thing we could do is just see if there's any updates to everything I'm running. So I've checked for Windows updates. I've just checked for VS Code updates, and there's nothing. Could be a bug with this WSL plugin. To be honest, it's only started crashing since I've added that, but you know, it might be something else. Let's go back to what we were doing. So we had cargo test. Is my volume all right? Yeah, we're all good. Welcome back. Thank you. So let me set up my chat again so I can actually see it. There we go. Just gonna move this over to there. There we go. So what do we got going on? Cool. Okay, so we've added these. Is there another function in here that we need to test? We've got nth Mazen prime. Wasn't that the one we were just testing? Nth Mazen prime, yeah. Is there another one? Mazens. Yeah, we could test that. That returns. Oh, it returns a massive array. Massive vector. Really figure out what the difference is between an array and a vector in Rust. Oh, and before I do that, let me commit. Git commit outside the directory. What? Just do that then. I guess we haven't compiled yet, so I haven't moved into the directory. It all makes some sense. And we added nth. So we added this function unit tests. We added nth Mazen prime unit tests. Tests is maybe a strong word for one, but let's push that as well. I really want to see that code coverage go up. And if I hit Control Z on this, nothing. Okay, so I'm gonna have to repaste the name of this function. I think it was just called Mazens, wasn't it? Oh yeah, super simple. Returns a bunch of stuff as an array, and so function. Just realised I've moved a bit far away from the keyboard. I'm like, right, stretching my hands out. There we go. Function Mazen test. And we are asserting that these are equal so we've got a call to Mazens, and it's a good question actually. I wonder if it would be better to save this into an array. Save this into a vector, sorry. So let Mazens equal that, because then I can do some simpler things. I can do probably that. Oh, that's not what I meant to type. That's, I can say like the first Mazen is 2 or whatever. Oh, okay, but it's an array of arrays. I'm going to just copy all of this down, and I'm doing a lot of scrolling back and forth, so let's just dump that down there for a second. So just to be good, I know that this is vector u size, and we're saying it returns a vector of vectors. So we're saying the first, what are we saying? We're saying the first vector, which is this one, and the first value should equal 0. We can probably also say that the second value also equals 0, and then I feel like we should jump ahead a little bit. 0, 1, 2. We can say the third value 3 and 1. Hang on, what am I doing? It's not what we want. I think we want that. Then we can get rid of this. Then we can rerun our tests. We should see that it all works. Great. And we can commit this saying we added Mazen thingamajigger, Mazen unit tests. Added Mazen unit tests, go us. Let's push that up. Then we can go back here. We can check on those. We should see, I guess, a couple of things actually. So this is our Mazen discovery date. So if I refresh, in fact, I probably don't even need to refresh it. I think it will automatically. Oh, we've got something that's green for a change. Difference. That doesn't seem right. That suggests that we've entirely lost our unit tests. Doesn't seem right at all. Still running this. Oh, we got an X. We got an X on this. Why do we get an X? Because it's out of date with the master branch. Thought we had something running for that. Most of our builds are done now, right? So this was the status badge build. So just jumping around slightly. Let's go and look at the pull request for the status badge, because we might have a green tick next to that. We do. I think we can actually deploy something. Merge pull request. Yes, I want to break all the rules of my administrative privilege. And I'm going to delete the branch as well. Keep things tidy. And then we'll head back to our correctly called Mazen discovery dates. I guess this is going to have to update. We're going to have to pull a copy. I kind of want to see what this error is. So it's pending, and that's an error. But we're going to have to update it anyway. If I do that, then it's probably going to add, yeah, yet another one. And then I'm going to have to pull the latest copies because we just thrown in some new code changes. Boom. This has got, from the other branches, this has now got the status update, the favon update, the favicon update, and the work that we've been doing for the last couple of days on the deploy, on the build, on the test, with Travis. So once that's built, I reckon that might have a chance of going green. I reckon we probably didn't have a compatible Travis file or something. I don't know. Could have a look at it, but I'm not going to. Live dangerously. Pull requests. Let's see what we got going on. Oh, there's loads. What have we got? PR7s, PR7s. Probably leave it all to run. 17 minutes. Let's check on that cache as well. Has that got any bigger? 3 gigs. Didn't we close? We've closed this down now, so let's get rid of that. I don't think we need that cache at all anymore. That's still busted. Fav icon obviously worked. So pull requests. So loads of pull requests going on. Why don't we go whilst all of that's happening? Let's check out CodeCov. Let's see what that thinks it's received. Missing base report. Unable to compare commits because the base of the pull request did not upload a coverage report. That would explain. That would explain the. Right. Right. I know what we're going to need to do. We are going to need to edit Travis. And we are going to need this CodeCov stuff. We're going to need it. I feel like I can probably turn it into its own job. Take a copy of this, grab a copy of that. And thing is, I guess we're doing a lot more than we were supposed to. We can do nightly. We're installing this because we need it. We need this, but it should get cached. We think we need this. I don't know if we do. We're doing a cargo build. We're doing a cargo test. I don't think we need this. I don't want to get rid of it. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to introduce another stage. So this stage. I wonder what happens. Surely I could put OS Linux up the top. Ditch that entirely. That's a whole other commit there though, isn't it? So call this CodeCov. Call it what it is. This is us running CodeCov. Guess we want this to be PR CodeCov. And if we're running PR CodeCov, require the branch name to be master. I wonder if we just always want to run CodeCov. If we're deploying, we want to run CodeCov. If we're testing, we want to run CodeCov. Any excuse. See where I'm going with this. In which case, let's ditch that. And we can probably go as far as to remove I reckon we can do that. Probably remove this from the deploy stage. That feels dangerous. Let's change one thing at a time. One thing at a time. And I'll add a note to do. We might be able to remove CodeCov. What's the site you're working on besides a list of zone primes? Oh, sorry, missed your chat message. It's the rather aptly named bigprimes.net. So it's not particularly exciting. It was just oh, it is exciting actually. It's ridiculous. It's the most over-engineered basic website. We've got Rust compiling into WebAssembly, being uploaded to S3, being cached at Edge by Amazon CloudFront. All of that's going through a CI/CD. It's just massively over-engineered fun. Let's see if I can remember what I was writing. This is not an atomic deploy. We might be able to remove CodeCov from the deploy stage, or from the deploy container, as we run CodeCov all the time. In fact, I really don't think we need it. I really don't think we do. I don't think we do. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to be bold. And if we don't need that, technically we don't need... No, we do need that. When do we install CodeCov? Good point. Zip CodeCov find. Then we run gr this thing. We install it here. But that's not needed. That can go. That's not needed. That can go. You saw the site and wondered why there was so much code. Yeah, it's super over-engineered. It just became an experimental site for me to test out. I don't know, anything and everything. At one point, there's an archived version of the site written in PHP using serverless, using AWS Lambda. Don't use PHP and AWS Lambda if you can help it. It's a lot of extra annoying steps that you have to follow, but it's fun. It worked, and now, yeah, completely switching to a single page site compiled with Rust. So it means you end up with, if we go to network tab, for instance, refresh this, you end up with a single binary for the whole site, minus a few assets like the favicon and stuff like that. Oh, I did not know you could preview the binary. I mean, that seems like a bad idea. But yeah, it comes out at like 1.5 megs. Where is it? There's the binary. If I hard refresh, yeah, 1.3 megs for the complete site. Not bad. Served from CloudFront, so that's 20 milliseconds away from me or something. Okie dokie, let's have a look at this. Git status, git diff. Let's just check we're not doing anything too silly. So we've added this PR CodeCov stage without an if, because we want it to run always. We've then actually added, oh, what's that on about? It's like I've just deleted deploy and put in PR CodeCov. Maybe just getting confused. Yeah, it is. It's just getting confused. Would we not want to run was_unpack? Actually, I think that's wrong. I think we would want to run that. I think I've made an error. I think we would want to run this was_unpack build. Then we cd into www, copy the package directory, run npm install. Then we run cargo build and cargo test. No, I'm going to try it without. Let's see what happens. Okay, so going back to this, I think that's okay. So git commit. Are we in the right place? We're in the right place. Created CodeCov build stage. So it can always run. And it can run in parallel now, so I guess we've sped things up. You know what? I really genuinely feel like we should run this before cache thing on all of them. So let me hit enter on that. Maybe not enter. Let me hit Control X. Yes, I'm sure I want to save it. At the same time, I want to add this before cache thing. This to do can go. Check if each of these lines is actually needed. That's still true. We should do that. Before script. Or cache. Let's just put this in everywhere. So 1, 2. Before cache goes before script. Before script. Before cache. Before script. Before cache. This we should just add as well. Or install before script. Before cache. Last, I think that's the last one. You don't have to hear me say before script, before cache again absent-mindedly. Yeah, we're good. Git commit added cache clearance to every job, every single Travis job. Push that, see what we end up with. Just to see if this keeps growing. So 2.4, no. Pretty massive, aren't they, in general? Okay, so for some reason I cancelled that one. This one, PR7 actually passed on this build. PR7 for all of those that have forgotten, including me, is correctly called as end discovery dates. So that one, interesting. So it's only when I added the nth Mazen prime unit test that it started failing. Maybe I've been looking at the wrong thing. Details. Ah. Or someone cancelled it. That would do it. Have a look at an overview. Last 6 months. Last 7 days. Nothing. The last time this got a code cover report was the 21st. I think we are going to have to slow down for a second and just let some of these run. Unfortunately. I know that says 29 minutes, but it didn't really take 29 minutes. I think that's cumulative, yeah. Is that the most unhelpful number? In the nicest possible way, I don't care that it took 29 minutes. Cumulatively, I care how long the slowest one took. Wish there was a setting for that. 21 minutes. I guess if it's cumulatively slowing down, that's a bad thing as well, maybe. I guess if you're not an open source project and you're actually paying for each of these builds, could really clock up cost wise. So Flancel, I don't know if you're still in the chat, but if you are, where did you join us from? Did you find us on the browse page, or was there another video that you were at that was I don't know, got to the end of its end of the fun? How did you come across us? Well, this looks pretty good. That's running pretty quick. Browse around a lot. Cool. Good. Twitch is an amazing site. Yeah, it's amazing for that, isn't it? Just so much randomly different content. Swear I just clicked on one and it was green. Changes detected. Oh, so it was super quick, but it spent all of its time uploading the cache. So I reckon 4 or 5 minutes, and these will go. Yeah, they go 3 minutes and 7 seconds green. I don't think these will be far behind. How long does it take to upload cache inside a data center? Can't take that long. Yeah, it's starting to get more and more green appearing. Anything come through on the dashboard yet? Last 6 months? No, I want the last 7 days. I had this yesterday. So it was working fine, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, try and get the graph to update and nothing. Anyone know if it's possible to change your IP address on Android? Yeah, use a VPN. I'm not going to recommend a VPN, but there's loads of really good ones. The only thing I will say is pay for a VPN. Don't use a free VPN. Can't get out of a ban. What did you get banned for? Actually, as long as it's clean, what did you get banned for? You're getting all the questions now. Flancer wants to know who banned you. I want to know why they banned you. We need answers. I don't think they can ban you based on a MAC address. I think they can only ban you based on IP. Okay, so these we know are going to take a minute or two. PR Code Cub's doing its thing. Of course, every single stage still has these random Rust builds that I don't know why. I might see if I can open a ticket with Travis support on that one. I feel like they might be able to look at it and go, yep, that line right there. What's that? That's 185, that's 184, and it's pretty good. This code cub thing, I think it was a good idea to break this out. There's a heads up, by the way, there's no links allowed in this chat, so if you type the site name, don't type it as a URL, and it better be clean. Or rather, feel free to type the URL, but then it won't let you send the message. Yeah, this graph's busted. I feel like it just busts once a day and then doesn't work again. But we can see here merge pull request 4, so that happened. These are starting to go green. These are our last 2 builds actually. Probably a minute or 2 tops, and then we can go back to GitHub. Why have I got this randomly open? Let's refresh that. Code Cove branch wasn't working either. Move this over here. Get back up to those pull requests. Correctly call Mazen, so it's amber at the moment. It's not red or green. Wish I could hover over it and it'd tell me the build number. I wish for a lot of things today. Should keep a list. Yep, stables built, 2 minutes 59 seconds. I think that might be a new record. So it's now properly using the cache. So maybe just the first build each day we don't get the good cache. sites. Allow your messages so everyone can see. No. Sorry. Caches. Ah, these caches are still huge, aren't they? Yeah, honestly, I recommend a paid VPN. It's a good, just useful tool to have. It can be good for debugging things. Okay, we're nearly there. We've got maybe a few more green. I quite like having this code cover as a separate stage as well, because it means, I guess, if the deploy fails or the tests fail, we don't get an update. We don't get some random entry into code coverage. I like that. That should fire up. That has fired up. Let's just see if they've got anything new in here. 19.2037 something. Pending. So this is still pending. Refresh. Head on over to details. Yeah, so it's just waiting on the code cov build. Let's zoom in on that actually. Let's have a look at that code cov build. Oh wow, it's not really got very far, is it? Planzo, is that a setting that I can change, the whispers thing? I wonder if that's something that I've been overzealous with the security on. It's Twitch account based. What have you been doing? Why is your Twitch account so locked down? You've clearly been doing something that you shouldn't be. Okay. Couple of minutes, we should be there. This cache again. You know, I wonder if you can like view the cache. I genuinely mean like get right into those cache directories. No, can only delete. Read the docs. Hey, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying that if stuff's locked down and apparently it's nothing to do with the rules of this chat room, then maybe something's occurred on your account. It seems strange not to have been alerted. I feel like they'd probably send you an email if you'd been shadow banned, or well, I guess the point of shadow banning people is you don't necessarily tell them, do you? So be neat if there was a way for us to view the caches. When you have multiple jobs in a build matrix, some characteristics of each job are used to identify the cache each of the jobs should use. So we have an OS name, so they're all the same OS. The OS distribution, they're all the same OS distribution. Names and values of visible environment variables set in Travis. Interesting. So I guess we could set some environment variables that would give them different caches. You like my accent? I don't know if I have an accent. Well, I guess everyone has an accent. What's my accent? No idea. Oh, okay. So it's nothing to do with. So you've got. So you're saying you've got different. My accent is posh Southern English. Really? Queen's English, is it? So yeah, this. So can't quite see your username. It's quite long, but oh no, hang on. I can see your username. I'm just not going to read it out. So you got banned from a forum, and you've got some kind of issue sending Twitch whispers. I'm sure those two things are unrelated. Right. How are our builds doing? Okay, this one's good. See if we got anything new on here. 24 minutes ago, 29 minutes ago. All recent commits, all recent branches, pulls. What can I do under settings? Oh, I bet there's a token in there I shouldn't have shared. Damn. To change it now. Let's have a look. Green, we're all green. Okay, well let's merge this pull request. Correctly call Mizen's discovery dates. Merge pull request. Yes. Yeah. You got banned. Okay. Delete branch. Guess we don't need this branch. We've merged it. Just gonna there we go. Seeing if I can make that chat a bit larger. What's the code cover report thing and why is it so red? It's red because our code coverage is low. We don't have good tests. Well, we have some reasonable tests. We just don't have enough of them. So yeah. Just gonna check something on this other machine. Bear with. Also see if this pull request. I don't think I'll see anything under pull request. I should see something under build history. Yeah, so this should be runs another code cov and a deploy. Okay, let's try and keep the chat at least vaguely on topic. Just checking something on my other machine. Okay, so it looks like that token I shared on the screen is not particularly important, but just for fun I've regenerated it anyway. Can never be too careful, am I right? Refresh. So we know this is hopefully only going to take 3 or 4 minutes to run the code carve, then a few minutes to run the deploy, and then we should finally see some changes on the live site. Yay, 14 tests passed. Cool. Cool, okay, glad. Oh, one moment, everybody. Gonna change one other thing. Bear with, nearly done. Wow, we need that to start. Okay, I've just banned that guy because adding a lot of noise to this channel. Cool. That person has just become the first person I've ever banned from my channel. So, where were we? Well, he just wanted to talk about his one particular topic, didn't he? Which was somewhat off topic. Right, let's see if with all of that fun, hey, it's actually updated. I mean, not in a good way. Wonder what that was under, a branch. "36 minutes ago." Yeah, I'm getting slightly confused now. So I was expecting, like really expecting this to have updated by now. I wonder if it's erroring and I've just been blissfully ignoring it. Let's check. Oh. Yes. Profiling. Target debug dependencies. Cannot merge provisions. Corrupt arc tag. I wonder. No coverage data found. I wonder if this is because we needed to use verbose or something like that, and we turned it off yesterday, I think. Let's have a quick look. I wonder if I look at CodeCov, actually, that's going to be the last good place. Oh no, it says 37 minutes ago. We saw. So 37 minutes ago. Which was this commit here. So maybe this is just after I did an update on that branch, actually. If I go to PR7. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. If I go, yeah, to PR7. Go to the commits. Oh. Let's git log. BO695DA. Merge pull request number 1. So that was at 15:29 today. So ever since we did that, we've not had code coverage. Second. There we go. We've not had code coverage. So I think something in Travis is now not quite right. And in order to test that theory, I'm just going to remind myself about this grcov tool. I think this will give us a nice example. Yeah. So I think we need this verbose thing. But I don't know that for sure. Just can't think of anything else that we've changed. The fact that it's in their example means I'm going to try it. So we had the cargo build, we had the cargo test, verbose, and should see one file change, just those 2 lines. Yep. And we're saying, don't think we need that either. There we go. We're saying back onto cargo build and cargo test for code cov stage or code cov job. Oh, I think I pushed the insert button. It's got to be a bad move, right? There we go. Cool. Let's see if this gives us anything. What am I trying to do? There, that's what I want. So let's head back. Okay, so when this runs, I just did a git push that worked. Yep. And this runs 87. Huh? Only running CodeCov. I mean, that's all I need right this second. Maybe that's fine. Not quite sure why. I was expecting that to do something else. Let's check those if statements we had at the top. If type is pull request, then run tests. Definitely running under pull requests. Maybe I've misunderstood what this type is. Let's check out. Hang on a second. What am I doing? I'm making changes to a closed branch. What is that going to do? Of course it's only going to run. So these two commits, these last commits I've just done. I think I should, yeah, I think I should branch off of this. Could cause problems with. Yeah, branching off of branches is it's a bit messy in Git. What method do you use for the primality test? AKS primality test. Good question. Let me find that for you. And remind myself because I can't remember. Oh, I think we're doing something ridiculous, like. Yeah, no, I remember. We're not actually doing anything like the Lucas Lima test or anything like that. We're not. We're not using it. We're not leaving it up to chance. That's what I'm trying to say. We run through this. This loop here. We only go up to the square root, and we are trying to factor the numbers, which you can see there. And you can see on the site it's pretty quick, even though we're factoring the numbers. It's helped by the fact that we've got the first, I think it's 1000 or 2000. Oh, there you go. First 1000 primes hard coded, which means getting up to numbers in the millions is not too bad because we only have to go up to the square root. And we've got a list of primes that will take us up to the square root of large numbers we want to check for primality. But it's a good point. For larger numbers, we should probably consider something a little less guaranteed. I think I'm going to branch off of this, and I may regret this in a few minutes' time. So git branch. Yes, fine. Quit. Is it worth rebasing, cherry picking those commits? Yeah, okay. I think probably the easiest thing to do, or the safest thing to do, is if I git checkout master. Resolving deltas, correctly commas end dates, correctly commas end dates. Oh, we could actually, you know what we could do? We could create another pull request. No, let's not do that. Let's not do that. No. Let's git checkout master. Let's pull master because it's way behind. Tom, are you still about? I remember you've probably used git cherry pick a lot more than I have. Is it like git cherry pick? Yeah. Git cherry pick. Git cherry pick commit ish. Hey, anyone on the chat used git cherry pick before? This one always confuses me. Otherwise, I'm going to the manual. I'm going to the manual. I'm definitely going to have. Yeah. Git cherry pick. Documentation. Yeah, so git cherry pick is for large numbers. Could just use a probabilistic. Sorry, I started one sentence and then read out Lanzel's message. For large numbers, could just use a probabilistic model and recheck any positives. Yeah, that's very true actually. That's very true. That'd probably be significantly quicker. I guess as you get up into the larger numbers, only 4 or 5% of all the numbers are prime. So it could make it 10 times quicker. Something like that, 5-10 times quicker. We'll remember that for another day. Or maybe we'll remember that for a bit. Let's get this code cov working, and then we can start to look at other improvements for the site. Oh, we're also going to see if the deploy worked. Sorry, I've completely sidetracked. Which I think was on the status page. That still looks very broken. Wait, okay, so we know the deploy works. That was me hard refreshing the cache. So at least that pull request to fix this button, that worked. Hey, Relum 10, how you doing? We've deployed something, which is more than I can say for Yesty. Yesty was just loads of Travis fun and games. Yes, this code cov. So git cherry pick, that's what we need. We've got an updated master branch. Apply the changes introduced by all commits that are ancestors of master, but not head to produce new commits. We probably want something like... So it's going to be git cherry pick. And then we're going to want to probably specify that other branch name. Cheers for the follow. Git cherry pick. Rust is a nice game, but I hate when they wipe the servers. Yeah, I can only imagine. What if we specify... Is this going to give me any kind of warning, or is this just going to blindly do its thing? Added verbose back onto cargo build and cargo test for code cov stage. Cool. Okay, that's actually worked exactly as I hoped. So that took the one commit that I put on the wrong branch and moved it to the, or took a copy of it, applied the same commit to the master branch. So I think I want to remove this branch now, because our work there is done. Oh, actually, you know, if our work there is truly done, then also we should see, yeah, look at that. That's fantastic. Now on the production site, it goes from zip straight to text instead of having that weird overlapping thing. Is this a new language? Yeah, Rust is, so Mozilla created Rust. It's an awesome language. It's vast amounts of type safety. It's got this thing called borrowing logic for just getting rid of all kinds of I guess you'd run into memory errors and all sorts of things. All sorts of security issues are just not possible in Rust as long as you do what the compiler says. And the compiler itself is just really cool. It tells you exactly where you're going wrong. Sometimes it even offers up refactor suggestions for your code. Honestly, really recommend it. Really recommend it. Right, so let's create a new branch. Git branch. What are we doing? I guess we're fix code cov. Fix code cov. Git checkout. Fix code cov. Switch to branch. And then if I push that, what am I working on? Yeah, so this is like a massively over-engineered project. So what we're doing is, and I think this, not this one, but this one, this command will sum it up quite nicely. As long as my computer doesn't blue screen, which has happened twice today whilst running a command like this, what this is doing is this is compiling Rust into WebAssembly. I don't know how familiar you are with WebAssembly, but it's basically a little binary file that you can bundle a whole web app into if you want to. In our case here, if I refresh this page and just show you the network tab, we get this 1.3 meg binary file, this WebAssembly file, which is the Rust code for the site, compiled into WebAssembly, and then delivered with a very small amount of JavaScript. And that means you can run some ridiculously fast code, because WebAssembly is fast, in the web browser with a reasonably small footprint. So this entire site at 1.3 meg, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. So one page load, it's a single page site, and then the rest of the time you don't have to make any more requests. So yeah, you get the full type safety and all of the cool safety features of Rust and the awesome compiler that comes with it, and the speed of WebAssembly. But it took me a little while to figure out what frameworks are available to actually do that. Insane development speed over performance. Yeah, so yeah, there is a passion for development speed over performance. I completely agree. And I guess as we've shown, yeah, no, I know what you mean. WebAssembly might never take off, but I mean, it's in most. I think it's in all major browsers. So even if it's just a specialist tool, if you can, I guess in most cases, if you can compare on a big site, if you can compare two sites side by side, and one is costing millions and one is costing much less to run, then maybe that would be the use case. Cool. Anyway, what was I doing? Oh yeah, so I was showing you this. So I ran this command which compiles Rust, or my Rust app, or the Big Prime's Rust app rather, and all of the dependencies, and then it fires up a little web server, and then we go here, boom, we have a local copy of the website running. Close that. Let's see where we got to. I think what did I do? Did I push? I think I committed. Did I push that new branch? The current branch, oh, of course, it has no idea how to push. Don't want to do that. Try to do a search. Just reading your message. Yeah, finding the right use cases for stuff can be tricky. It's trial and error. There's usually a bunch of opinions. It's just tricky to know which ones to listen to. And even then, one person's right 5% of the time, they're wrong the other 95%. What are we trying to do? Oh, we're trying to fix code curve, aren't we? So, cool, it's detected we've got a new branch. Let's create a pull request for this. Fix code curve in CI. In fact, I'll say in Travis CI. Did I ever do Project Euler? What's that? I don't know what that is. Okay, so we should see build in progress. Yeah, there we go. So we got a pull request. It's going to run a whole bunch of tests. It'll give us a code coverage report as well. Lanza, what's Project Euler? Shall I Google it? To this? Maths challenges mostly means it's maths challenges mostly meant to be solved by making clever code, clever algorithms. Some can even be done on paper. Oh, I see. So I could pick one of these. Consider the following process that can be applied recursively to any positive integer n. If n equals 1, do nothing and the process stops. If n is divisible by 7, then divide it by 7. Okay. Otherwise, add 1. So essentially, if we end up with 1, we're done. If it's divisible by 7, do so. Otherwise, add 1. Define a function gn to be the number of 1s that must be added before the process ends. Be the number of 1s before the process ends. And it gives this example. So we start off with 125, we add 1 because that's not divisible by 7. That is divisible by 7. I'll take their word for it that it's divisible by 7. Then they add 1, then they add 1, then they add 1, they end up with 3, then they add 1. Oh, I see, I understand. So inevitably gets smaller. This feels like it has something to do with triangle numbers. 8 ones are added, so G125 equals 8. Okay. And they're going to want the most efficient coding solution for this. So I'm going to guess... Let me finish the question, actually. Similarly, before I march on ahead with trying to throw some... Oh, if I go to archive, I can sort by difficulty. Okay. I was willing to give this one a go. I don't even... is there some kind of ranking here? No. So it's archives, as you say, I'd have to go to. This is extremely hard, is it? So similarly, G1000 equals 9, G10000 equals 21. Define a function Sn equals the sum starting with n. This is stretching my maths knowledge. Basically, we perform this function starting with n equals 1 until n, I think. Yeah, this is a... Is this 3 different problems? Alright, let's have a look at archives. Solved by a lot of people. Problem archives are, so 667 problems. If you would like to tackle the 10 most recently published problems, then go to recent. That's where I was. Click the descriptions and titles to review and submit the answer. So I guess we're going to want to find one that's been solved by a lot of people. So this has been solved by a lot of people. Series 1, 2 to the 2, 3 to the 3, 10 to the 10 equals that lovely number. Find the last 10 digits of the series. Okay. So I suspect that has something to do with being able to completely ignore everything after the first 10 of these. Because after that, you don't care about 11 to the 11, 12 to the 12. Or I'm not sure when the cutoff point would be, but there's going to be a cutoff point, right? I know. I don't know my number theory background either. It's probably, it's definitely going to be higher than average, but it's not professional, and it's definitely not even degree level. I kind of want to tackle this one. I'm going to leave this tab open. I've got a collection of tabs growing, actually. We need to remember this. So someone suggested the other day I should look at Windows. Oh, I can't remember what the acronym is. WSL2, because I'm only using WSL1. Flansel, you've recommended Project Euler. Didn't know this thing existed. This is very cool. I'm going to leave that open. Maybe this is how we entertain ourselves when a build takes too long. Like this. Actually, no, it's not too bad. 5 minutes. So I guess these will have to run, and then once those have run, we'll be able to see if CodeCov is fixed. And I can refresh this, although I think it'll auto update. And in theory, CodeCov will post a message in here saying things are better or things are worse. Hopefully things are better, because we added 3 new tests. So Flansel, when you say a 50% difficulty for one of these, what do you mean? How can I is that like hidden up here? Difficulty rating 5%. So is that only 5% of people can solve this, or 95% of people can solve this? I feel like they probably explained this somewhere, if only I was to read. Curious. All very curious. Okay. So how do I submit an answer to this? If I go back one, that's problem 48. Can't click that. Can't click that. I guess I have to sign in, don't I? The hardest I've been able to do is 50% difficulty. So this is a easier question. Yeah, I need to create an account. No email required. Really? That's pretty cool. All right. Well, does it at least keep my password secret from the streamers? Yeah, or off of from the viewers. I know I said the streamers, the viewers. Confirmation code. We are probably not a robot. There we go. That's a nice way of getting out of GDPR, isn't it? I like that. Don't give us any personal information. Yeah, no, you're right. It doesn't seem to require an email, so username, password. I'll try this out momentarily. I've got a feeling that we're going to be waiting. If this is going to take 7, 8, 6 minutes, this is going to take a few minutes. So it seems like that's long enough to create an account, right? How much do I want this to be a throwaway? I'm going to call it throwaway. 4, 5, 3, 2, 1. It's bound to have been taken. Password. Can make it a bit longer actually. Confirmation code, I assume, is this thing. Read and agree with your privacy policy. Well, let's give it a read. What more could you want from a stream? Let's read a privacy policy. What cookies does the website use? It uses PHP sessions. Great. What personal? Nothing. I'm sure we're good. They're anonymous, right? So can't even tie it back to me. Your account has been successfully created. I can sign in. Great. Was it that? Already forgotten it. I shouldn't have read the privacy policy. Remember me. Yeah, remember me. Otherwise I won't. Yay! Okay, I managed to remember what I typed on the previous page. So we were going to tackle problem, what, 48? Self-powers? What? I see what you mean about working out on paper. Find the last 10 digits of the series. Oh, maybe I'm wrong about the... Let me crack open a calculator. Maybe I'm talking rubbish. If I... Actually, that's not a times, is it? 101, the power of 101. That's not what I meant. 101. That's not the button I wanted. Can I go to like an advanced mode? Oh, there's a programmer mode. Still don't see the button I want though. Scientific mode. XY, that's what I want. So if I do 101, 101. I feel like I misunderstood that. I was expecting that to be... I do like 10 to the 10. Oh, okay. It must have... It's converted to scientific notation, of course. Of course. Yeah, so if I don't know. If we did 11 to the 11. Yeah, no, that's still making change. My theory is destroyed. Because of basic maths. Okay, these are going to be tricky. I'm going to have to start out with a really easy one. Oh, I see. Sort by difficulty descending. Multiples of 3 and 5. Okay, so problem 1. We list all the natural numbers below 10 that are multiples of 3 or 5. We get 3, 5, 6, and 9. Yep. Okay. Find the sum of all the multiples of 3 or 5 below 1,000. This is the easiest question on the site, right? There's nothing easier than this. I'll come back to that. Wow, why are these taking so long? 13 minutes. I thought we were doing really well. All these random cargo checks. I still don't know if we actually need all of these. Take minutes each. 2 minutes for the first cargo check. I feel like they're just primed for separating out into their own jobs. So you said the hardest you've solved is number 267. Yeah, you know what? I could read all of that. Billionaire, problem 267. You're given a unique investment opportunity. Starting with £1 of capital, you can choose a fixed proportion, F, of your capital to bet on a fair coin toss repeatedly for 1,000 tosses. Your return is double your bet for heads and you lose your bet for tails. So if F is 1/4, For the first toss, you bet 25 cents, and if heads comes up, you win 50 pence. And so then have £1.50. I'm having trouble even understanding the question. Hello, when I try to use command rust_main.rs, it throws my error linker link.exe not found. How can I fix it? Using Windows 10 and Visual Studio Code Editor. So the same editor that I'm using, right? Have you got anything up on anything on GitHub, or can you chuck it up on what's that error you're saying? Hello, when I try to use command rust_c main.rs. So rust_c, that's compile, isn't it? So I normally use cargo for that, which is fine. Linker link.exe not found. Dalek, I genuinely would like to help. There's I'm trying to think what the easiest way to see what you're seeing is going to be. It's gonna, and the Streambot's gonna stop you from posting links, right? I think we figured out I can let you post links. Give me just 2 seconds, and I'll give you the ability to post links. Just gonna keep an eye on that whilst it's doing its thing. I think that's built. That'll probably move on to code cov in a moment. So is in chat. I accidentally made you a full-on mod there for a second. How do I do that? Isn't it going to be like this is my first time permitting someone to post links. Pretty sure it's like $for alert permit. Yay, there we go. That worked. So Dalek, you should now have permission to post a link. So if you want to post a link, we can help. Well, we can try and help. I'm using Windows as well. I would strongly recommend using Linux in Windows, but I have done a bit of Rust compilation on Windows, like just pure Windows, so I know it works. We can definitely do that. Dalek, have you got that link for us? I'm going to send you a message. It won't let me. Yeah, well, there we go. Good stuff. Refresh. No, that's not going to help us at all, is it? How are we doing with this code coverage? Not good. Massive cache files, I reckon. I mean, it's not too absurd, considering we're doing all these different, builds. I think that's probably about right, to be fair. Have we got any output yet from CodeCarve? I suspect nothing. Yeah, still nothing. An hour ago. This was this the thing we were looking at earlier that was broken? That looks like a different. Yeah, so that one worked. Back some more, back again. Wow, that's not what I wanted. Oh, here. There we go. Just check on that build. That's pretty quick. Yes, throwing CodeCarve. No coverage data found. Okay. That's slightly different. I guess it's a different set of errors this time round. We didn't have pages and pages of. I wonder if we go back to a super early build before everything broke on CodeCarve. Yeah, like 2 days ago. And I think I was running CodeCarve on nightly. So I scroll all the way down to the bottom of here. I should see it. Yeah, so whatever was in here worked. So let's have a look at this commit. That was when we merged pull request 5. So if I go to pull request 5, will that let me? Okay, the branch doesn't exist anymore, but that's okay. I can bring the branch back. Pretty sure. Just need to remember how. Not issues, it's not pull request. Maybe it's under settings. Branches. No. Could be under. Maybe we didn't break it in that branch either. In which case, let's have a look at Travis. There's something there about. Let's have a look at CodeCarve. So that was running 2 exports, 2 cargoes, running all of that. And let's not forget, it's also running this rather important before script. So within this CodeCarve stage, we've got these exports, got this zip. We do run cargo check, but I don't think that's used in their example. No, it's not. We're pretty sure cargo options is empty. So So I could include this again, but I just don't see how that would be helpful for code cov. Could add cargo options to the end of here, but I think we were reasonably sure it didn't do anything. I'll add it back. Just don't see it. Sure, it's cargo options, isn't it? That would be, yeah, that's just a string now. I just can't see where that would fix the problem. So this is making a presumption that ccov, that we're in the right directory. And we've got a before script. Huh? We don't have a before script. Where's the before script? I mean, that can't be good. We're literally not installing gr carve in the before script. So that would break stuff. And let's just check if grcarve is somewhere else in this document. Maybe I missed it somewhere else. Yeah. Looks like I accidentally left it in one of the test builds. And test build on beta. Just check, I'm not going mad, am I? This is, yes, this is for code cov, which we don't call on these boxes, so that can go. That can go too. And this is for code cov. And this we do have a before script. Hey, you know what? What if we're... No, I was going to say what if we're clearing the cache and that's causing the problem? But I don't think that can be causing the problem because we've got the exports here, we've got the cargo builds, we've got the cargo test. I think we can't explain why that would be the problem. Can't believe it's the problem, but we've definitely found and fixed at least one issue there. Git commit. So we've moved grcarve install. Oh, you know what? Actually, we've done two different things. So save modified buffer, no. So what we want to do is git commit partial. So yes, I'm going to include moving that curl. Yes, I'm going to include moving that curl and that one. Oh, it sees them as the same chunk. Okay, so in this case, the partial commit doesn't help us. Let's just Control C out of that. Git commit. So moved grcarve install to correct place. No, that's too vague. Move grcarve install to just install on code cov job. Then we can say, and I can git push this, so that'll generate a build. We can see if that build has code cov correctly found. Then we can commit this with this cargo options thing added back in, which yesterday we really didn't think did anything. Added cargo options back into code cov job as a test. I still think these are not needed. Push those. Let's have a look. Yeah, you like that. Yeah, I'm glad you like how specific I am with the commits. It's one of those things. It's just when you're trawling over somebody else's code, or even your own code from even, in my case, just yesterday. If you haven't given it a good commit message, you can run into some real problems. Yeah, so with your example of a git commit of a message of bugs, I mean, depends how important that commit message is, I guess. If it's just a project with you on it and you're just interested in speed, then I guess it's alright. And it's your project, right? So do what you want. Okay, so we've got two separate builds going on here for the same branch. One of these, forget which one. It'd be nice if it showed you the git commit message as well. Can't even see it on this page. What's the point of a git commit message if you just hide it? But yeah, one of these, we've added cargo options back. The other one we've moved where the grcov gets installed. And we'll see if one or both of them are fixed. If one of them is fixed, then it's cargo options. If they're both fixed, then the culprit was that grcov, but I'm honestly not convinced the problem is with either of them. Another thing we could try is we could try removing this before cache section, because this does remove a bunch of debug. Yeah, could be that. Tell you what, actually, let's have a quick look. travisci. travisci before cache. Let's see what that does. Cleaning up cache after success or after failure. What? Complete job life cycle. Cache components before install, for script. I mean, I guess I should put these in order really to avoid complete confusion. So far so good with the before install, but as soon as I know install's good as well. Before script should be up here really. It runs this before it runs this, and I think I'm okay with that. Yeah. Be back later. Alright, Flans, have a good one. So one of these is already completed. So just to see what sort of output we're getting. Yay, it ran all the tests, 14 of them. And then it cleared down the cache, I think. Yeah, it did. Great. In fact, it ran... Oh, let's stop. Oh, I'm going to stop jumping between screens. I'm getting confused. There we go. What else we got going on here? This. So once this is complete, let's run the tests. Well, that did detect a bunch of changes. So that's curious, actually. I'm not really sure why that hasn't worked. Oh, I think I know why our cache isn't clearing. I think I know. I reckon these are doing nothing, especially given the amount of time they're running for. I suspect every single one of these needs that in front of it. Because here, if I was to put like a print working directory command before these clearing of caches, I reckon it's still in the like the ww directory or something, and that's why it's seeing these. Because in theory, this target debug incremental, big primes, dash anything should be wiped out. So I'm going to add another commit in here. Although I feel like if I do this, that's not really about this what this PR is doing. Maybe I can have a dual purpose PR and say fixing the cache and the coverage. I'd be interested as well. What does the cargo clean command do? Doesn't error. Travis build. Yeah. How do I get that directory? Travis directories. Maybe it's a variable actually. Let's go for environment variables. So in your repo directory run, I don't want to do that. The absolute path to the directory where the repository being built is being copied. I think that's the one we want. Let's not make changes across the board actually. Let's do our let's do a test in just one of them. So do this in nightly. I think what we would want is that. Git commit. Trying what are we trying? Trying to wipe correct or in unusable cache. Cache dir now prefixed with Travis build directory. Yep, alright, let's push that. Okay, so we are going to have since a great many things to check now. That's 3 different things we've got. There's 3 plates we're spinning. That's too many plates. So we need to know on build 191, we need to know if CodeCov works. That looks like CodeCov works. So, which one was which? Which one? We go back to our pull requests. Oh, look at that. I accidentally created that again. Fix CodeCov in Travis CI. So this happened. Wow, our coverage has jumped massively. We're up to 30%. Great news. Continue review full report on CodeCov, powered by CodeCov, last update. Continue. So if I read the full code review, we can see which file we added. What is this on about? Changes, files, commits. Added cargo options back into CodeCov. Really? I would never have thought that. Well, let's Google that then. Cargo options. That is not what I was expecting. Cargo options. Maybe this is something that gets set in Travis. Nope. Let's have a look. Nope. Nothing that I can find to back that up. Sample crate here. No. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm really quite pleased that we've got our code coverage up to 30%. So, I refresh this now. I mean, it's gone to like an orangey amber color. That's more orange than amber. Dark orange. We've got some builds in progress. Once these are done, oh, I need to remind ourselves just what is going on here. What was this? This was just a page where I was grabbing some code from. Refresh this graph. You know, it'd be great if you just didn't update at all. That'd be just swell. And wipe unusable, yeah. Okay, so we can see if... Surprised that code cov's already happened. Did I really sidetrack us for 10 minutes? This didn't, surely this didn't upload any code cov. No. And that's still running. Okay, let's give that a second. And we added this. What did we add this to? So this was tests nightly. So on the very latest build of this, the 195, we can see if this runs those cache commands at the end. That'd be pretty nice. Yep. 2 or 3 minutes and should have all the answers. At least as far as this caching goes. Hopefully I'll whiz through these. Yes. Yep, passes all of our tests. Now that looks significantly better. Look at that. That removed a huge number of files this time round. I'll click on one of these. These ones didn't do so much. They did remove some things. So did that. Okay, so I think that proves it. The last test was good. We should rinse and repeat this. And that should massively reduce our build sizes. So let me, no way I'm copying and pasting that 20 odd times. I'm far too lazy. I mean efficient. Replace all. Well, maybe not all of them. Guess I could have put a space in there actually, and then I wouldn't have had to click it so many times, but that was the one I wanted to avoid. Cool. So can commit this change now for sure. We can say Travis build dir added to all clear cache commands as it works from previous commit test. And then we can push that up. Cool. I think we will merge this now. I was expecting a few more commits. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we're just waiting for those to green tick. And then we can merge those in. What else we got going on? Fix code curve, that's the same thing. What were we doing before we were fixing code curve? Completely forgotten. I mean, we were trying to do something a bit more constructive. That's just the same thing. This, I don't think we need to worry about. Don't think we need to worry about code curve. GR curve rather. No, we fixed that. Did our cherry picking, that worked. We grabbed that directory. Look how many tabs we just got rid of. That's much better. Much better. So we got the build button working, didn't we? Where was that? That was on status, so that's good. We got our test coverage way up now. Pretty good. What was that? That's a 10% jump in one go. That's quite impressive. Even if I do say so myself. Let me rephrase that. That's pretty damn good for 3 very small tests. Which is really quite efficient. Look at that. That was 10% test coverage right there. I guess we should. Oh, I'm not going to do it right this second, but definitely feel like we could add some tests for some of these other pages. That's already got a test. I think some of these are a bit tricky to test. Like, how do you test the render function? I guess you could test it runs. I'm not quite sure what these macros would actually do if you just ran them as a test. Throw HTML at you? I'm not so sure. They'd probably try and write to a non-existent DOM or something. It's not going to be good, whatever it is. Should also check those cache sizes now. Fixed code cov. That's a much nicer cache size. Look at that. That one can go as well. What pull requests have we still got? So we've got pull requests 8 and 6 are still open. So 7 can go. 1 can go. And 4 can go. And I guess we haven't built 6 recently. What is 6? Improve readme and local dev. I can get rid of that off the stream. Nobody wants to see me merge some readme changes. Not even me. So I don't think what else we actually need to do with this. We've got like, I had a little checklist to my right here, and I feel like we've maybe got through it. The deploy is definitely not broken. Cross that one out. I was considering adding a cache for something on the build, but that doesn't seem very fun. I can do that some other time. We've added a bunch of unit tests. Yeah, I think that's probably. Oh, actually, you know what? We had that busted robots.txt. It's like it's not exciting in the slightest. But we can see that didn't deploy. If I go to that locally, and I guess actually I'll need to rerun the build locally in order to see this. But if I go to this locally, should see it there. So I could quickly get that going. A fix for that, I mean. So git checkout master. We're ahead of master by 1 commit. Oh, that's because I did a commit earlier and then created a branch for it. I should have created the branch and then committed. So to fix this, what are we going to do to fix this? To fix this, I need this build to finish, which it will do momentarily. And then as soon as that's built, we can merge it. Then I can pull down a new copy of master and then branch off of that. This is an example of build stages. Yep. So, got a lot of green, we just need 1 more now. That build 197, bit of details. Yes, it's waiting on build 197. Excuse me. So, we had some problems to solve, didn't we? Given a unique investment opportunity, starting with £1 of capital, you can choose a fixed proportion of your capital to bet on a fair coin toss repeatedly for 1,000 tosses. Your return is double your bet for heads, and you lose the bet for tails. So for proportion a quarter, for the first bet you might bet 25p, and if it's heads you win 50. So then we have £1.50. So we start off with a pound, we're allowed to bet a quarter, we win 50p. That makes sense. Okay. Do I want to do this right now? No. I think I would rather watch this tear through. Check on those caches as well. So far stayed at a good size. This might even shrink once this is completed. Don't know why, sometimes this is like super slow to start up. Super slow. Don't know what size cache it's downloading either. Could be vast. Okie doke. Let's see what else we got going on. Builds. So just that one. So probably take about a minute and a half. 2 minutes tops. And we can hit that merge button. What else we got going on here? Is there anything else we can write tests for? These all look pretty good. Oh, here's another page that looks like it needs a massive refactor. Like 380 lines long. And about 360 of that is this huge table. Okay, how we doing? Yeah, that's getting somewhere now. Doing its pip installs. Hey, you know what? That's peculiar actually. Sudo pip install. Why is it bothered installing pip at all? Because this isn't going to deploy. Probably knock 20 seconds off of that. It's pretty good. That's been that's clearing down a whole bunch of stuff it doesn't need. Changes detected. It's found a few changes that are useful, apparently. So I reckon if we go back here now, this is going to be green in just a second. Nearly there, 4 minutes. Still obviously quite a massive cache that it's doing. That's crazy. Literally losing like a minute to the cache. It even took longer than nightly. I guess it had to install that pip and actually do the code cov stuff. Maybe an extra 20 seconds on top. I've just realised the font size reset after the last reboot. Sorry about that, everybody. Okay, we got full set of greens. Merge pull request. Yes. Great. Now we can delete this fixed code cov branch. Guess we can delete fixed code cov branch here as well. Done. So all traces of that removed. So I think just got that one to go. But we don't need to worry about that at the moment. We can do that off stream. What I can do is pull down the latest master, and then if I do git status, I think this will say everything's good. Yeah, it does. Okay, so git branch, and we want a new branch. What were we doing? We were fixing robots. Fix robots.txt deploy, because it's not deploying. Git checkout. Cool. Then I guess this should be a quick fix. Need to add robots.txt to this. And is robots.txt in the dub folder? Yes, it is. Is that all you need? That's really all you need in a robots.txt, right? We don't need anything more complicated than that, surely. Surely not. Right, let's save a copy of that. We can commit it. Did I commit it? I haven't committed it. Added robots.txt to S3 deploy. Yep, I'm sure. I'm very sure. Brilliant. Nothing to do, hopefully. No. Okay. Prepare a pull request. Create a pull request. Okay, so whilst that's... Oh, look, I got it wrong by one space. Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's an easy fix for somebody else to do. So what else do we want to actually do or fix on here? Is there anything else, or are we pretty sorted? Looks like it's all just working. Although that jumped around. That was weird. That happened. Yeah, I see. There's all sorts of things jumping around here. Rhymes. click on one of those, it renders the title after the table. Not sure why. But if I go straight to it, it renders them in the right way. Okay, that is weird. Who's up for a different project? I'm wondering if I can probably get this finished off today, and then look at another project, maybe three-dimensional universe of some kind. Be a bit more interesting in Rust. Have a ponder. Have a ponder. Just going to do something I shouldn't really do very often. I'm just going to switch over to here. Check I haven't missed anything. No, I haven't. Nothing going on the chat that hasn't made it through to my other machine. Yeah, what do you all think? What would be a good next project? Some sort of simple 3D world, 3D game in Rust. Thinking maybe something simple like a 3D game of life or something that you can move through. Okay, that's building. It's going to take 4 or 5 minutes, I think. Alright, I think I'm going to call it a day there, at least for this project. I'll probably complete a few of these pull requests, the last few pull requests offline or off stream. And then this might be the last video in this series, at least for a while. I should be back next Sunday, maybe the later half of the day on Sunday, and I might come back with another project, but we'll see. All right, cheers everyone. Until then, goodbye.